I'm Damian Oracki, the co-founder of a company called Showslice. Okay, and I'm very excited to be talking today with Erwin and Maarten. Maarten was one of the first companies that signed up on the platform. But not only that, I'm excited because we're talking about back-to-back events, and Showslice, my startup, is actually into collaborative procurement. It's a collaborative procurement service and platform for meetings and events. So we help the organizers of meetings and events make confidential connections between each other so they can share similar infrastructure costs back to back at the same venue, basically. So it's like a marquee, staging, sound, lights, video. Even on a smaller scale, we brought clients together next year that are actually sharing the entire meeting, but the venue for the day, but they're doing 3 hours in the morning, and the other company is doing 3 hours in the afternoon. So it's also for smaller events, not just larger events. And yeah, so that's Maarten.
Hello.
And so I'm going to take you through a bit of a journey of where I come from. Been working 10 years in the meetings and events industry, mostly large events. Must be definitely over 16,000 hours. And I started off at the bottom end of the supplier ecosystem in terms of events as an event crewman. And then worked my way up into production, venue management, some of the most iconic venues in London, one of them being Battersea Power Station before it closed, unfortunately, because that was a brilliant venue. And then into health and safety for mostly large conferences, events, festivals, and then working directly for the London Olympics. And now I still consult for England 2050, the Rugby World Cup. As I'm doing my startup, got to keep it going. But all I can say is, regarding the event industry, let me try that again. You say it's a bit slow, hey? Great. One thing is, I freaking love the event industry. So I don't know about you guys, I know Maarten loves the event industry. I think so. Well, I love the meetings and events industry, and it's not just the fact that it's always a different location and we're always doing something new, but the people are awesome. I mean, you meet most of the time, very intelligent, very witty, fearless, because this is one of the most stressful vocations in the world, in event planning. So, but they still know how to have a good time. I mean, look at that, I'm a master barbecue, that's me. But let me take you back to the real graft, when I started off in the industry. That's me. It looks like we're always smiling and having fun and loading trucks, but most of it isn't all smiles and laughs, because you're doing 0300 unloading an Arctic full of deck to put it up in a marquee, and and then you building a marquee in the snow and doing 80. Back then there wasn't any health and safety, so we were doing 18-hour days, 70 days a week. It was, we sometimes still do that, but yeah. So one thing was I would be supplying different production companies. So I'd go into one venue, work for one production company, set up an awards, and the next day break it down, only to stay there to work for another production company to set up almost the same thing, and that would happen quite often. So that would really frustrate me. Honestly, that would frustrate me. And also doing most of the events that they were so ephemeral, just 4-hour gigs, one-day gigs, I get very, very stressed. And in actual fact, I can tell you confidently that 99% of the large events that I did not share anything. It's actually less than 1% of all the events I did actually shared. And a lot of those events were shareable. Definitely could be shared with a bit of communication. So there was hope, actually, because there was that small, under 1% of events that actually did share. That was the first gig I worked on that I saw sharing at a mass scale, which is in Victoria Park here in London. Every summer, the festival promoters in Victoria Park actually share all of their surrounding wall, the main stage, all the infrastructure really, substage, the marquees, and they share it on consecutive weekends. So during the week they change the branding. You have Lovebox sharing with High Voltage, and then on to Field Day. This year I think it's something different, but they always come together. And the benefits are obvious. I mean, even something as simple as this middle stage setup at the Grosvenor, that's the Grosvenor Park Lane. It's quite a popular venue in London. And that middle stage setup can be shared between any event such as awards, charity balls, luncheons, even conferences, so anything that uses that setup. And in actual fact, for many years, this is also what inspired me, was some more savvy organizers. I mean, these events have actually shared on many occasions. They're doing it this year as well. You've got PR Week sharing with Campaign Big Awards and Media Week Awards on consecutive days. They save up to 30% each on the production costs. And also, there's now more opportunity for better entertainment because both Campaign Big Awards and Media Week Awards don't have much to change after their event or between their event, giving them more time for rehearsals, for better acts and obviously better guest experiences. So that value creation is improved guest experiences, and then also you have now more money to either put back into your event. And then when you look at it, I know we say it, but we're not really concerned about sustainability. But in terms of sharing, I mean, the logistics alone, in terms of bringing the staging and the AV and the kit, is the carbon emissions is cut into 3, or according to the denominator of how many events share it. So that is actually fundamental when you look at it like that. And as I looked further into this world, I was noticing that they could be shared. Did some research, and there's actually a lot of events that have been sharing for years. And the problem here is that they share only within their limited network. And what Showslice does, or the promoting of back-to-back events, actually gives the power. It breaks down the barriers to communication that organizers are facing and allows any organizer to have the same economies of scales that they do. But okay, well, speaking about my frustration, I want to know from all of you, have any of you felt frustrated? Have you attended an event, been part of an event that you thought, wow, all this work for just one short gig? You have? What, was it a big marquee or staging or?
Oh, when I was at uni, I kind of volunteered at a lot of different big events like that. And yeah, you spend a week setting everything up, and then it's done, and then you spend 3 days setting it down. That's it.
That was actually a fundamental thing. Exactly, I've got 10 days. They're Dorchester, also on Park Lane. Keep talking about Park Lane because we work there most of the time in the corporate scene, as far as London's concerned, really. And there was a bar mitzvah. They booked it out for 10 days, the ballroom at Dorchester. Now, it's not cheap. 7-day rig of this bar mitzvah. I mean, it was beautiful. 4-hour gig, 2-day D-rig. It's amazing, eh? So it's the same sort of thing, 7 days, etc. But even for these large events like the Olympics, they try to collaborate, but they always just do their own thing and then totally separate, nothing. Maarten, outside of the work you do, have you ever gone to an event and thought, wow, that could be shared?
I think we've been thinking about this in the past as well when we, for example, with Fresh, we set up this whole stage and projection, and we project the entire decor is projected. Everything is branded, and so it's very easy to switch from one user to another by just adding, producing different graphs, a set of different graphs for each event, and then the whole set can be rebranded and reused completely. So I've thought about this one. How can we do this? How can we make that happen? Because if we set this up, for example, for a whole month in a hotel somewhere, how can we find people that want to use it?
I know, but it's quite common. I mean, when you look at any event, and you just think. I mean, I was actually meeting Centaur Live. I met Andrew Evans, the MD of Centaur Live, and on Tuesday we spoke about this. We spoke about his awards, and also this show. I know it's going bigger next year, but this shell scheme could have easily been shared. Maybe not the carpets, unless we found someone in a different industry that had the same colors, but very unlikely. But definitely just remove the carpets with the shell scheme, alone. So events like this frustrate me, but we're not pushing exhibitions yet. We've got a couple, but we'll get there. But the point is, when you look at anything, it can be shared. Not like Coke doing a Coke bottle and then sharing that Coke bottle with Pepsi. I mean, you're not going to have that. But the fundamental infrastructure can be shared. Really. So at least some of you, well, I know you guys, but at least you felt the same frustration I have. Hey. Good. I'm happy. I'm not alone. Fantastic. Good. Well, I'm going to talk about something called, and I was talking to you earlier on about it, the sharing economy. And I got a little video here. It's only 2.5 minutes long, but I think it will educate you about the sharing. Thank you. The sharing economy. It's a PricewaterhouseCoopers video, but it's a spotlight, and it's quite new. And I think they describe it pretty good. Enjoy.
You've surely heard about the major disruption that's happening across automotive, hospitality, retail, entertainment and media, and technology landscapes. It goes by many names: collaborative consumption, access over ownership, the on-demand or peer-to-peer economy, and most commonly, the sharing economy. Whatever the label, it's a booming business. Already, the so-called sharing economy is upending business models across the globe, driving companies and consumers to rethink the use of underutilized assets. Uber operates in 250 cities worldwide. Airbnb has listings in more than 190 countries. Spotify pipes music to nearly 40 million users globally. Our survey showed that 44% of US adults are familiar with the sharing economy. And the more familiar they are with these services, the more excited they feel. Nearly 1 in 5 adults say they have participated in the sharing economy as a consumer. 7% say they have participated as a provider. Collectively, these business models are changing the way consumers think about value, assessing the impact of goods and services on their wallet, their time, and the planet. The most compelling benefits are better affordability, 86% agree, and greater convenience, 83% agree. Plus, nearly 3 in 4 consumers say it's better for the environment. But while there's momentum and optimism, there are unresolved concerns. 73% of adults say they worry that the quality of sharing economy experiences will be inconsistent. And while 89% say that the sharing economy is based on trust between providers and users, 69% say they're concerned about putting their trust in these types of services. Yet so far, these concerns appear to be speed bumps, not barriers. And traditional players should take note. Companies must recognize changes in consumer purchase behaviors and adapt their market strategy accordingly. Likewise, companies will want to examine their own assets and overhead, identifying underutilized resources that could be tapped as a potential new revenue stream. A world of collaborative opportunities is opening up as more consumers shift from ownership to access. The question is, who will capitalize most effectively? For more about how your business can succeed in the sharing economy, visit pwc.com/CIS.
Enjoy that one? Well, it's interesting. The main point there is trust, and they talk about it being a speed bump. It is one hell of a speed bump for sharing economy businesses, because particularly in this new thing happening now, which they've just touched on, B2B sharing economy, that is very, very new. Consumer B2C, C2C, it's been happening. Since the internet began, it was C2C, Napster, peer-to-peer, Now then it became B2C. And now we've got businesses like myself that focus on business-to-business sharing. And therein lies the trust, because everybody thinks about competition. Everybody's worried about their own. They don't want to put £10 million of event on a platform. So hence why we do a service as well. But it's that trust is the thing. And as the millennials are now getting in a position to CEOs of this company, they understand how technology works. They understand that it can be trusted. They understand that there are securities in place. Things are changing. But it's an uphill battle. It certainly is uphill battle. So they call it the sharing economy. And this is a day in the life of a sharing economy. So this gives you a snapshot in one day of what's going on in the sharing economy. So you've got these 6 sectors: goods, food, services, transportation, space, and money. I'll start with goods. Let's just look at Etsy. 24,000 items are sold on Etsy each day. Looking at food, you've got Blue Apron, which basically delivers meals or delivers ingredients perfect to what your meal is on the day. They do 6,666 deliveries, meals served each day. In terms of services, you've got TaskRabbit, which you can actually get a freelancer to help you with laboring or some tasks that are needed. 25,000 people earn on TaskRabbit every single day. Transportation, you guys should know that. I had to use one of them today, being late. BlaBlaCars is pretty cool. It's a ride-sharing business, not like Uber. It's a ride-sharing, and they do 10 million miles a day on BlaBlaCars. It started in France. Uber, I'm sure, have you guys heard of Uber? Everyone's heard of Uber. Uber's part of the sharing economy. They broke through the noise. Every day, Uber gives 157,143 rides. I used one of them today. I had to. Times 2.9% of the real price. It was quite a lot of money, actually. But anyway, and then space, Airbnb, another big one. On the 9th of August, 2014, I like this one, 375,000 people stayed at an Airbnb. That's a big number for the sharing economy. And then last but not least, people are sharing their money as well. And you got crowdfunding, 55 campaigns successfully funded on Kickstarter. So it's a big number. That's a snapshot. This is growing. This is growing actually every week. A lot of sharing economy companies are coming out, failing, going up, popping up. But it is a trend. It's a serious trend. But it is actually, and what I like, look, they call it the sharing economy, but this word actually annoys me. It's outdated. It's not the sharing economy, collaborative consumption. These are all words. It is the new economy. Things are changing, and it's fundamentally because it's a collision of 4 megatrends. Okay, megatrends, and you'll know that. Main one being technological advancements. What's happening now? Okay, platforms are being made cheaper. Like when I made my chat platform, much more affordable to actually make it than it was 10 years ago. Okay, in terms of development. And then you also got computer and mobile phones are now, smartphones are now much cheaper to buy. So it's easier to access the internet. These platforms are now popping up on a weekly basis. Start with eBay, Netflix, YouTube, Airbnb, Uber, now TaskRabbit, Showslice. These things are coming up because of the technology, because of the access to that. Then, second important megatrend is, I like to call it the marriage from hell, but it's actually a 3-way marriage, because you got the global recession, and you got the increased population growth coupled with limited resource. It's increased, it's a reduction in the resource that is available. This then influences goods and services that are now cheaper and easier to access through the World Wide Web. So now you can lend your neighbor's lawnmower or your neighbor's drill to drill a hole in the wall, because in actual fact it's not the drill that we need. I've got a Makita at home, I hardly use it. But it's not the drill we need, it's the hole in the wall. So it's that access, and it's a fraction of the price than actually buying the equipment yourself. And then also, using an Uber, the driver lives near you, and things like that. So its access is easier, should be cheaper, but not Uber, not anymore, not today. No. But anyway, so third megatrend is climate change, global warming. This is a big one. Definitely a big one, and it's suppressing unresolved environmental concerns, and that is also in the corporate scene, the increase in corporate social responsibility. Brands actually are now also showing and caring about the environment, which is a big thing. That is growing, and that is, it shows sharing resources in any way, be it time, labor, logistics, or solid waste, has an obvious positive impact on the environment. And the fourth megatrend, and this is my most favorite, is the openness, connectivity, community. This is influenced by the World Wide Web. Since we got on that, we started sharing information through Facebook, through Twitter, through LinkedIn, through blogs. So this form of sharing, this form of openness has opened a whole new trend, which is influencing the sharing economy. And before the year 2000, we were all learning on how to get on the internet. After the year 2000, we were learning how to connect with each other on the internet. So the Facebooks, the LinkedIn, the Twitter, and now moving forward, we are learning how to use the internet to connect with each other offline. So it's going from the virtual world of bits to the physical world of atoms, and we are now utilizing our assets, our parking spaces, our desk spaces. So this is the sharing economy. And those fundamental, there are other trends, but these are the fundamental 4, and it's a collision of them. And that is, remember, the new economy, guys. Okay. And that's what Showslice does in terms of the events. So, we save on budget, time, planning for our clients, and reduce cost, labor, and waste, which is an influence of those mega trends. But then also the sharing economy, like with Airbnb and Uber, it's like, I have a house in central London, it's available the weekend, and I want that during the weekend because I'm coming to London for a meeting or for the meeting show or whatever. So the thing is, that is connecting the haves with the wants. That is the fundamental part of the sharing economy. What Showslice is about, it's connecting the wants, because they're planners. They are talking about what they need for next year, and we're bringing in the requirement. So this lovely lady, for her AGM, needs a big marquee in East London next year, June. He needs the same thing. So they come together. The main thing is trust in one another, trust in the platform, trust in the service. And then efficiency obviously increases in terms of what they're doing, which hopefully we can go into a little bit more on how that works just now with your case study in a little bit. And then in the end, bigger and better events, which is what we do. That is fundamentally the sharing economy. And now I wanted to ask you guys, well, Uber obviously, but have you used any other sharing economy solutions?
I live in Leicester, so I think it's less, don't do as much kind of stuff there because it's so much easier to get around yourself and things like that. I think in London and big cities and things like that tends to happen more.
Yeah, because we're using taxis, we're using cabs more, so those solutions.
I think that public transport is your average way to get around, whereas where I live, you just drive and parking isn't really expensive and things like that. You don't have those issues. So where I live, it's not as necessary as compared to somewhere like London or somewhere.
Absolutely, and you're talking about sharing economy solutions, but have you used eBay before? Oh, good. So, people have resold their assets to you.
Yeah.
So that's good, because now they don't have to produce, because it was all a consumption model. Yeah. Consume. What eBay does, part of the sharing economy, part of collaborative consumption, is that we become prosumers. So stop producing more and share. The more we share, the more we have. So, so you actually have, you don't realize how far it goes. I mean, I remember back in the day I used Napster. Somebody shared their music with me, and that fundamentally broke the music industry, didn't it? Erwin, have you used any sharing economy platforms?
Napster back in the days.
Did you?
Yeah.
We
so
all
maybe
did.
you downloaded something. Airbnb.
Yeah. Good. It was also about community, because you just go and you meet somebody and you stay in their place. So I did that at Fera Barcelona for EIBTM. Fantastic, really. I mean, we got a place right next door to Fera with a balcony. It was exactly the same price as the hotel, but it was just nice and open. But we all do it. Carpooling, sharing a hammer with a neighbor. Oh, what do you need? That is fundamentally what we do. We just human beings. We share. We are sharing social beings. So we've all done it. What they're doing now is they're just using the internet. They call them sharing economy solutions because we use the internet to facilitate, to help. But so this will increase. It's the world, the internet and technology is taking over in a good way our homes. There's sensors in everything we do now, from our kettle to our microwave, and that's recording back into the brain of the internet. So it's all connected. Like I say, it's not the sharing economy. It's just smart city solutions. We won a sustainability award from Shell in December, and last year, and they consider it as a smart city solution for events. They don't even know what the sharing economy is. It's a smart city solution. So it's a buzzword that companies use just to promote, we're part of the sharing economy, but it's just a new solution. But I want to tell you where we are now. And I was looking for a photo that will best depict us. We're not the big guy. This photo doesn't even do us justice, because that's like a 6-7-year-old boy. We're more like a toddler. But I couldn't obviously find any of those photos. You shouldn't. But the thing is, so I use this one, and that is exactly how we feel. Absolutely, if not worse. This is the product adoption graph. It's a graph that's about the diffusion of innovation. So any product or innovation has a life cycle. Okay, and it follows with the innovators, who are those people outside the Apple store that they want to get that first mobile phone, and even though they had the six versions before. Where are we now? I like to think we're here, but absolutely not. Okay, because we're not even somewhere here. This is about a percentage of the marketplace. When you get to the chasm, this is what they call critical mass. That is a tipping point, and it's 16.5% of the marketplace. So to get there is very, very difficult. We're at the I'm pathetic stage, but we are working out kinks. But it's to get into that marketplace. We're at a fraction of a percentage, but we'll no doubt get there. Gives you an idea of where we are. Let me get there. If it changes. Okay, UK launched, soft launch in November 2014 at EIBTM. That's actually where I met Martin and Erwin, which is brilliant. It was probably one of the reasons why I'm here today. So it just keeps going on from there. But that was great. And marketplaces are fragile and difficult to pioneer, as I just said. Very, very, very difficult. Even Airbnb, as you mentioned. It took them 2 years. I think they were still busy going around to the accommodations, taking the photos, earning $200 a month for the first 2 years of their life cycle. It's a very, very difficult business. And that's accommodation. I'm doing big events where people want to do their own thing all the time. So, hell of a journey. But we have 13 clients, which is about circa £14 million of annually recurring events. 50% adoption rate increase per month since launch. It's easy to say when you get 1, 2 a month, but it's the truth. First successful match end of October 2015, and we have successfully matched 12 large events, so that's 6 connections, most of them next year, and a lot more coming. It does take time. And then EU and North America, touch wood, by 2016. A lot of partners want to get involved with us now, but we are still a toddler.
Because all those events, that's UK based.
Yes, sorry. I couldn't even count your signing up because we couldn't help you at the Fresh conference. And Maarten was the first. Maarten, you were the first person to sign up on the platform. That's why I love you so much. It's true, because you are an innovator of note with your Fresh conference, with MDI, with what you're doing here. It shows, you know. So it's always good to be around. This is our team. That's me. I'm the only one not really smiling. Some blue steel. My partner, John Gunn, my co-founder. Menis Katuru, our client coordinator. Tarek Jones, business development, also part-time, at Tarek. And James Sandberg is our digital strategist. Good team building, up so far, but slowly but surely. We do need more help. We need it, but we need more time and money. So we'll get there. There's our first match. Shouldn't really be showing you guys this, but I have been allowed. So, the match made in heaven. This is Women of the Future Awards, Yilton Park Lane this year. They have a production company working for them. I won't mention them, but anyway, they had this. One of our other people on our platform is London Lifestyle Awards, and that's Jason Gale from JJG Media. He basically wanted to go on Park Lane. He's moving from the Troxy, which is East London. He wants to be on Park Lane and connected with Women of the Future Awards. Production company showed them what Women of the Future Awards has got planned, and Jason looked at that, and I was in the correspondence and said his answer and his planning for the production was basically brilliant. I love that. Full stop, and that was it. So he's quite happy now. We're just talking prize, but we didn't have any, well, he could have had some involvement, but he was happy. We do have clients that come together before they had planning, but in this instance, Women of the Future had already moved forward. But Jason was quite happy, very happy actually, in fact. But that's great. They save him money and time, and you know they don't have to pay for that setup cost at the venue for one of the days. So yeah, it's great, really, very very. And if you look at it, you've got Women of the Future Awards, which I don't know who the sponsors are this year, but you got Visa, Shell, Asda, and then you got Jason Gale, well, London of the Lifestyle Awards, which is Gulf Air, and I think might be some other drinks company sponsoring this year as well. So you've got those brands indirectly sharing, you know, which is pretty cool. And that is all I really have to say for now. I mean, I don't know what else I can say, but as I said before, and I have to be honest with you, this tool is designed to break down the barriers to communication, fundamentally. And you know, really, imagine the possibilities when coming together, because it's a new world, guys. So yeah, I mean, do you guys have any comments or questions about Showslice? You know, poke at it. I would love that. I mean, I'm here to learn. I would have liked more people to actually poke at me, because this is an educational session for you guys, but also for me. So, like, what's the problem? What's good? What's bad? Or what feeling do you get?
I think it's a really good idea. I suppose, have you like partnered with venues and things like that? So, they going, right, these people who are interested in using this as a space and things?
That is exactly well said. That's one avenue that we're doing. We're a small team, but venues are using us. They are referring their clients to us, so we can help them get more events. That is happening. Yes, we are focusing on our clients fundamentally, helping them make connections and then bringing them to the venue of their choice. So there's a sort of it's an open market. We're actually working with the marketplace and not a venue or a supplier or the owners. It's the entire marketplace to bring them together. You know, there's a company called Concerto Group that's been sharing as a production company, fundamentally marketing sharing. When they do their Christmas parties, they set up at Old Billingsgate and they sell that back to back. You know, which Christmas parties, you even have platforms that you can buy tickets or exclusive day. So it's been happening for years, but Concerto also uses that for other things. So they would say, well, we have an awards, and they sell that and they bring their clients in, which is a great model. But it's limited to their production. We help everybody, every production company. We're neutral. We'll try to be the marketplace for that. Yeah.
Because I think when you talk about venues, that the venues obviously are very much in favor of supporting this, because it's in their best interest. If they can sell a certain production setup to another company, knowing that they will save some money, but then they'll be in the venue,
Yeah.
They would be inclined to help you and to drive this into more.
Absolutely. And most of them that have availability a day before or day after, most of them actually, I only got 30 minutes recording here. So much for still camera, but we're almost done. I actually, venues like Salmon Park Lane are very, very full. So, you know, some of them don't even care about their clients.
No.
Trust me, you know, they're so busy year on year, they actually don't even care about their clients, so they're certainly not going to worry about it, an agency or a platform. So, no, but venues love it. Venues fundamentally love it. I just need time. It's myself and my partner fundamentally full-time, but as I said, I consult for England 2015 as well, so I'm half and half, and I'm pushing it. And we actually, ourselves, to grow our team, to do this venue thing, we've actually been offered some investment, but it's kind of taking advantage of our desperation. Now, that event, the first one has been confirmed, signed, it's happening. You know, we are getting something, so we can move forward. But the slow game is sometimes better, especially in this market. If we were to take money and invest it in marketing a concept, we would have wasted it. I mean, I can tell you now, what do we say in a concept? You know, I could use your case studies from Fresh with GMIC, with ESSEC, you know, but that's not through the platform. That was fundamentally what you're doing, what Victoria Park's done, you know, so it doesn't help. I need our case studies to move forward, you know, so it's a slow game.
You can use the pictures.
Yeah, well, just so you know, I was at an MPI event the first time I pitched for 3 minutes, and I actually had a photo of you and Guy Bigwood back to back. Did you bring that photo?
I don't have that photo, I think.
Well, anyway, the thing is, I wanted to bring it. I should have told you, but like, I've been so busy. But it's such a good photo. We're back to back. But anyway, can you tell us about your experience with the Fresh conference?
Yeah, sure.
So basically, Maarten has been very innovative. He was the first one that's openly discussed back-to-back events. That was his term or the theme of the event. So go on, Maarten, anyway.
Yeah, I've just switched to my phone as a tool.
So here we go.
So this was the set at the Fresh conference, and it's built with panels, and you can project pictures or whatever, logos, and there's actually a screen built in here. You can't see it, and then the rest is all square panels. So that was one of the things that we could combine at the Fresh conference, and so we were talking to the GMIC, the Green Meetings Industry Council, and they were interested in doing something together in meeting design, etc., because they're all about designing meetings in a more sustainable way. So they see this connection, and they wanted to look at what we could do together, and we started talking about the conference, and they had a one-day conference and a small budget. So we ended up talking about sharing our sets and doing this for, you know, on one side saving some money, but on the other also saving the environment, because they're all about green and sustainability. So obviously we were interested in sharing this space with them, and we talked about it, and we came up with a proposal, and we ultimately agreed. So this meant that they would have this set as well, and they could do a nice presentation, and so when they used it, it looked like this. Same idea with some pictures of people on the square elements, but a bit smaller. And then they had a few other graphical designs that would use the set, where you have some text here, some branding here, some different colors. And so this is a nice way of sharing. And we did, in this case, even shared speakers, and we had a joint transition ceremony. Our closing ceremony was their opening ceremony in a way, so we shared some audience as well. And here is Guy Bigwood from the Green Meetings Industry Council, unplugging our conference, so to speak. So it ends there for us, and then he replugged it as a start for them.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, what we did there. So here's the chair of that conference doing his presentation, his opening presentation, using the same material and crew and furniture and etc. And I think they saved some money, and it was good for the production company. And here's myself doing a presentation and using the sets. So those are the visuals that I have.
And Maarten, I've actually been dying to ask you questions, obviously, because I haven't really had time with you regarding this. And what inspired you? I mean, have you shared before?
No, I've
Really?
always had wanted to, and I've been thinking about it, but this was the first real opportunity.
But that was through Fresh. I mean, because you're quite innovative in terms of production, and you've done production before in Belgium, right? Fundamentally, but all over Europe, right?
Yeah.
And it's always been focused. None of the clients are sharing, are they?
No.
Not even 0.1%, as I say. Hey.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see that, and so much could be shared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to take quite some rethinking of
Business models.
from their side. Instead of looking for venues, they should look for other. They should look for other partners. And
Yeah.
we have Rudy, actually the guy that's on is right there, and actually did some sharing with Philips. So it's within the company that they do different meetings, and instead of doing them in different places at different dates, they are now inside the company, setting up once and using the same hotel and having a better deal from the hotel, negotiating for a longer period, etc.
Great.
And also sharing the technical setup and production.
And that's the word I like to use now, which hasn't really been used. I was actually talking to the people from PricewaterhouseCoopers about sharing economy, and he mentioned B2B. When I started, I didn't see any other B2B really out there. And I spoke to him about collaborative procurement. And that word really took to him, and people aren't using it because the government uses it, collaborative procurement, in terms of how they share and procure. They try to come together in certain aspects, but companies are not doing it. And when you look at competition, it's all about competition of mine.
Yeah.
But I mean, Maarten, when I saw you at EIBTM, mate, I was well pleased. Well pleased, because it was strange. It was a match. I was like, you know what you're doing, and you're trying to do things. I mean, you guys really pushed it. Sharing the speakers is beyond. You guys are.
That's not always going to be fun.
No, but I mean, that's fantastic. A logistical nightmare in terms of that, I would say, because you sharing infrastructure is a lot easier than maybe sharing programming and connecting the program, But in terms of sharing, I suppose what I've experienced, and maybe you could agree, is also some clients want different things, and some clients have preferred suppliers. Obviously, generally, if they do a lot of events, they have preferred suppliers. But that again is just a speed bump. When they see the cost benefits and the logic behind it, it is a no-brainer. But yeah, good man. Well done.
So I hope that we can do more. I mean,
yeah, excellent. No, thank you. Well, I mean,
it's just
you've been,
applications, but they also are able to share stuff, I'm sure.
but Maarten, I appreciate your help and advice, but also you, do we have are we okay? Oh, okay, yeah, wrap up. I appreciate your help and advice, but also, you actually inspired me and motivated me, but by seeing you, it was actually pretty inspiring and gave us confidence. So it was Rosie, yeah? Rosie, because you are my hero, and you've been the most engaging one out of all of you.
Best questions.
You had the best questions.
Best answers.
And I have
Most answers.
absolutely, and I have a prize for you for that. So this is a book about the rise of collaborative consumption. It's called What's Mine Is Yours by Rachel Botsman. I finished it. It's my book I bought. She's the author of this book, along with the chap from Rue Rogers from Ozo Car, and it's a good book. It teaches you about collaborative consumption, and she puts here, she's the author, but she understands that book publishing is dead, and she's all about collaborative consumption. In here she says, barter, swap, or pass on this book. And do you want to share your book and track where it goes? Create a code name. We'll put you the meeting show 2015, my name and date, and then give it to you to read and pass on as well. Okay. So yeah, enjoy.
Well,
What's mine is Yeah, I haven't put it in there, but I'm going to put the meeting show 2015 and then my name, and then you can track your book.
Super.
And you pass it on.
Super.